All right, welcome back to another podcast episode. This is Be Skeptical, all opinions, no facts. Two generations, infinite opinions. We are prepared to disagree or agree. I am a millennial dad. This is a Gen Z son. We're going to head off into some dumpster fires of generational discussions, differences. If you're here for the objective truth, you're in the wrong place because all opinions, no facts. So be skeptical. Basically, what we're trying to accomplish is don't believe everything you hear. Don't believe everything you see. Do your research. Throw it against your morals, your values, and the wisdom and experience that you've experienced and see where it sticks. So
it's good. Good recap.
Yeah. So this is our second episode. Thank you guys for coming back. We got a couple themes on my side. You're going to bring your questions. I have my questions. I think I'm going to start it off.
All right.
So I'm going to start off with suffering. I'm not talking about the Wi-Fi is out, my cell phone's dead kind of suffering. I'm talking about real suffering where potentially it could equal into change, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. A good practical example of that is in this household, we work out. We do a lot of physical activities. We think it's important. And you suffer through it, but you see the change as long as you work hard enough for it.
Right.
Okay.
No pain, no gain.
That's right. So going through that, do you think people only change when they suffer enough?
Yeah, I think so. I think it really depends on the situation. I mean, let's start from one side. A person that isn't completely had their mind set on something, they're never going to, like, if they're really working towards it and they don't have their mind really set on it, if they're not ready to endure that suffering, they're probably going to just give up. You know, they're going to endure a little bit and they're going to be like, wow, I hate this.
Yeah.
I want to get away from it. You know, yuck. But if someone is truly set on changing themselves, and I mean, like, even, like, you can be set on changing yourself and not even be, like, in that mindset, you know what I mean? You can be looking towards wanting to better yourself and not, like, actively doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe it's someone who has wanted to get better throughout all their life, or maybe just somebody, you know, who works as hard as they can. If they truly go through that, what they need to go through, you know, they work hard enough, they suffer through it enough, it will overall change.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, more of the suffering that I'm kind of thinking of is like the people, let's say, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, as a small child, I suffered through quite a bit of stuff. Like, I went through a lot.
Right.
I don't think if I didn't go through that suffering, that I wouldn't have became who I am today, if that makes sense. Okay. I suffered into change that I used to make my life better. Now, some people will take that suffering and it makes their life worse. Absolutely. That's when you're talking drug addictions, you're talking any kind of addictions or any kind of hiccups that could throw you in jail or trouble or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. But I didn't. I had a guidance counselor one time, and I wish I knew the person's name, or I wish I could find them and just be like, "Ha, you're wrong." But she said, she's like, with all the stuff you've been through, she's like, it's okay. You're probably not going to make much of yourself. You're just the statistic on the paper that you're going to be in jail or drugs or alcohol or whatever it may be. And I used that and I motivated myself into changing into something else. And yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you think is the biggest thing that you've suffered through in your life currently? I'd say you've had a pretty good life. Like, me and your mom have tried to make it the best as possible.
Oh yeah, physically wise and like just growing up was good. I'd say I haven't suffered too much. You know, I've been very blessed upon that you guys work so hard to keep us safe and through whatever we can do. I feel like a lot of my battles, I feel like I fought in the suffering I went through. It's just probably just isolation. You know, I feel like I'm very, like, I've worked a lot on being able to talk to people, and I feel like I can talk to people very well. But it's just, I feel like whenever it comes to things about my feelings, sometimes I just like, and again, I've worked on it. It's just, it's hard for me to fight those battles by myself. But I feel like the only times I want to, you know, really feel them out is whenever I'm by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'll want to, yeah, I feel horrible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel good in my head. I have thoughts that are constantly bothering me. But I may not like them, but I can almost like, it's almost like I can push them away for a day. You know, I can push them away throughout the day. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm having a great day. My mindset's great. And it'll get late at night or just anytime I'm by myself in my own area.
Yeah.
You know, everything consumes my thoughts and there's no, like, it feels like there's no distraction. And I feel like I'm fighting all that by myself. You know what I mean?
No, I understand what you mean completely. I mean, I think generationally, every person right now suffers through isolation and aloneness. I think that's an epidemic. I really do. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, I can't speak on the women's side, but men for sure do that. Men will isolate themselves into suffering, and you've got to have your friend group. Like, you've got to have a good group of friends that you could call out on. You can go do something with. You can blow some steam off. You can throw it against them and be like, hey, I'm having some issues here. And it has to be real friends, though. You can't have fake friends and talk about that kind of stuff, because they might use it against you.
Absolutely.
And you got to be successful with it. But no, yeah, I think in my experience, the suffering that I've experienced did change me every single time. And I'm talking, this is down in the deeps depths. I'm kicked while I'm down. I'm low. And now I got to figure out how to get out. And usually in some way it changes me for the better. But you just got to you got to use that suffering to better yourself. And like I said, working out is a great example. That's more practical. You will suffer and suffer and suffer, but eventually you'll see results and you'll see the change that you want. So I think it's definitely necessary that we suffer. I think it's a good thing, and especially men. I think men flourish through suffering.
I think number one thing that keep men going is just the ability to stand throughout anything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Men are supposed to be a rock. You know, they're supposed to be this stoic character. You know, stuff like that. Which it's great. I mean, we need people to be stoic. We need people to stand. You know, we need people to be able to do that. It's just it's so hard nowadays because it's seen as more of this mindset of like, oh, a man.
Oh yeah,
that's like just like
masculinity's bad.
Right, severe masculinity. But it's not a stand of masculinity to be a man and take charge. You know, it's not.
Oh, I agree.
It's not a stand to want to stand up and be that, not necessarily be like a light or anything, just to be stoic, to overall be a standing, strong person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree in the traditional roles. I mean, a man, there's certain things a man should be, and there's certain things that women should be. Like, it's not that I'm sexist or anything like that. I just think men are better at things and women are better at things.
Right.
Like, and I saw a study the other day where they threw a bunch of men and women into a survival scenario. And 9 times out of 10, they fell into those more traditional roles naturally.
Right.
Because that's where they're comfortable. That's where they feel comfortable. That's where they feel like they're going to contribute to the society best as possible.
Right. I mean, as a baby, you see, if you put a group of babies together, I'm sure they're going to figure out, like, I'm sure the guy babies are going to be more, not necessarily more explorative, but more like
adventurous.
They're taking adventurous. They're making moves. They're doing this. They're doing that. Like, as a man should do, not necessarily fully take control of the reins, but if it seems like there's nobody who knows how to make a right decision, You want somebody smart enough or someone who's strong enough, which it could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be anybody, just to take a stand and make the right decision. And more often than not, it's going to be a guy to take that move, to take that stand and make that position. You know what I mean?
Well, it's funny too, in the same study, it's like there was a few people initially that were trying to get into leadership roles. They were trying to lead the people, and then one bad misstep or one issue within the survival scenario, it kind of crumbled a little bit, and other people stepped in. Like the people that were there initially weren't the same people that were in charge or doing certain things at the end. Mm-hmm. So I think it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of suffering.
It takes a little bit of suffering.
Absolutely. A little bit of suffering, and to figure out what you want to be and where you want to go and stuff like that.
You gotta be made. You know what I mean? Like throughout life, you gotta be shaped.
Yeah.
And now we can't choose the way we are shaped. You can't choose what you're born into. You can't choose how much money your parents make. You can't choose until you're an adult. You know, whatever you're shaped around, it's what you're at.
Yeah.
You can't change it.
No.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that maybe you're shaped bad growing up in a situation that, you're growing up around gang violence, drugs, whatever.
Yeah.
In this country and other countries, you can be shaped around this, but it doesn't mean that's what you are,
No, I agree.
Play-Doh is shaped, you shape Play-Doh into things, but it doesn't mean it's not Play-Doh. It's still Play-Doh,
Yeah.
You can be shaped, you can be looked at as bad, you can turn into this, you can go through that suffering. But what you were shaped as doesn't mean that's who you are.
Yeah, it's not going to be your final mold.
Right. But you need to go through that suffering so you can be shaped into it.
Yeah.
And make an understanding of who you are, because just,
No, that builds your characteristics. That builds you. Like, morally, the way that you're raised and stuff like that, you're going to usually carry a lot of those morals and that kind of fiber background. You're going to carry that with you, but doesn't mean that's going to be you forever. Like, I grew up in not so great environment, drugs, violence, abuse, all kinds of stuff. And I got into a stable home when I was around 8 years old, but all that stuff that I saw prior to that, I used to say, oh, that was terrible. And I kind of used it for pity and stuff like that. But then now I've gone through a lot more stuff, and I don't use it as a pity party or anything like that. I use it to build my character and who I am today. And I can also use it as an example for other people that may be struggling or have been through some stuff. It's like a tool in your toolbox. Mm-hmm. The things that you've been through, the experiences that you had, it allows you to relate to other people in times of their need or times of their weakness. Mm-hmm. So you can actually hey, I've been through this.
Right.
It's all right. You're going to make it through. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that someone hasn't been through that you're going through right now.
Right.
You can always come out the other end. It's never as bad as you think it is.
Right. Nothing.
Now, it might be pretty bad when you're going through it, and it's definitely rough, but doesn't mean you got to stay down. And beating you down doesn't mean you got to stay down.
Right.
That you just eventually get back up and you keep clawing your way out, and you'll get out of it. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think it's fair to say that suffering is a motivator for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I have more questions. Do you want to go on to one of your questions?
Yeah. I kind of want to keep the train going.
Yeah.
Of motivation. I just want to ask, personally, you've shared this was this, but what one specific thing throughout your life has motivated you? Is there an end goal? Has there been a saying, a person? What have you had your whole life that you felt kept you going to number one? It keeps you wanting to be the best person you are.
Overall, I would say my encompassing life, I was always motivated to better myself. And I've always motivated myself to be the best. not to brag about it or anything like that. It's more of like a self-value thing. Mm-hmm. I always wanted to be the best at anything I was in or anything I was doing. And unless I physically just could not maintain or could not do it, I was successful in that multiple times. And then, when you and your sister came along and got married and stuff, it kind of changed my focus. Because then, yes, I wanted to be the best, but I wanted to be the best so I could support and maintain a good lifestyle for you guys. That was my motivation then. As soon as you guys came around, yes, I was going for money, right, for a long time. I wanted to be able to provide for you guys a home that was stable and just overall a safe environment, because it's not what I had growing up. Until, like I said, I was about 8 years old, and then it was pretty stable. But yeah, that was my main motivator when I was, around 21 when you guys came around. So it was to provide for you guys, to ensure that your future was the best it possibly could be. Yeah. That was my main motivator.
Okay.
I mean, I've always, and I could say I don't know why that I've always wanted to be the best. You could say it was maybe insecurities or whatever, but I don't think it's a bad one to have. And it wasn't like I was doing it in selfishness or anything like that. It was more of I wanted to achieve the most out of life that I could possibly achieve. And I think we talked about it a little bit last time. It wasn't that, I was looking for the reward or the attaboy or the pat on the back. I actually strive better with negative feedback. That's like mine. It's like, okay, yeah. That's great. I'm doing a great job, but what am I doing wrong?
Right.
Because that's my motivator. I want to see what I'm doing wrong to better myself. And, I had a food truck there for a little bit. And I heard a ton of people say, oh, your food is so great. It's so amazing. I love your food. And then I'm like, okay, well, how can I make it better?
Right.
I was always asking, what can I do to make it better? And not everybody knows, but I had a Texas barbecue food truck. And I love cooking, period. But the only time I took a good compliment was when I had some people from Texas come to my food truck and like, hey, I'm straight out of Austin, Texas. That is the best brisket I've ever had. And that one actually, it felt good. Like I felt good off that one. But then I also, I was like, what am I doing that I could do better? And that's one of the things I've always strived for. So, what about you? I mean, right now you're young. So what's your motivation?
Well, I see motivation as a lot of things. I see it as what gets you out of the bed in the morning, mostly. It's what gets you out of the bed in the morning.
Oh, I agree.
And I can see what from your side. I feel like I kind of inherit that. I wanted to be the best. I'd love to be the best, but I don't know. I've never been that I want to be the best mindset. I want to win. I want the people around me to win. You know what I mean?
If you're not first, you're last.
Right. And if nobody around me is first, then I'm last. You know what I mean? I want the people around me to be winning. I want not only myself, because I feel like myself.
Yeah, you want to bring the group with you.
Right. I don't want to be this I could be this stoic life form. I could be awesome, but I want to be awesome with the people I love. I want to be awesome with the people around me, and myself even just becoming great. In myself, I got to wake up. I got to tell myself I love myself. You got to love yourself. You got to enjoy who you are, because if you don't see who you are as a person, you're not going to see what you can succeed in. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why I feel like my main motivator is just, oh my goodness, excuse me. I feel like I see who I am. I see what I can become. And I know that absolutely nothing is going to stop me. I mean, God willing, nothing will stop me. If I want to do something, I'm going to put it 100% to my mindset, and I'm going to do it. Yeah. And I'm going to win. No, and, I whoever I do it with, however I do it, it's going to happen with me. You know what I mean? No,
it's a good thing that you said you want to take the people that are around you with you. One of my favorite quotes is, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go. Sorry, what is it? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you got to go slow with a group.
Right.
I might mess that up, but you get it. Whatever.
I understand. Not meant to be the anything. But yeah, I feel like just the idea of me being the best, I'm awesome. I'm going to continue to be awesome. But there's people around me that I got to bring up too, you know? No, and I know what I want to achieve, and I know that I want people to be just as happy. I want people to be more happy, you know, because I'm happy with not a lot.
Yeah.
I'm happy with just bare minimum. But I don't want people around me to have the bare minimum. I don't want the people I care about to have the bare minimum, so I got to be the best.
No, you're exactly like me when you were your age. Like, I already see it. Like, you want to pay for everything. You want to, like, have everybody in your car. You want to drive them. And I was the same way. Like, I would literally take people out and I'd pay for everyone's food. And might have not been the best decision now that I look back at it, because I think some people might take advantage of it. But I wanted everyone to have fun, have good, you know, smiles, laughs, stories. But I can see that same trait in you even now. Like, it's so crazy, the things that you don't even necessarily teach your kids, but you still see it.
Right.
It's crazy. Like, and I'm talking personality stuff. You would think personality stuff wouldn't be genetically inherited, but it is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
No, yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like I would think you would bring over some of the personality traits that I have, because you don't know how I was younger, but I see it. You already have it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's crazy. I was talking to your mom the other day about that. I'm like, it's crazy how genetics work, even when it comes to personality.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I mean, even, you know, continuing, I have another question.
Go for it.
You want me to?
Yeah.
What do you see out of people nowadays? Like, you know, you have a lot of critiques. It's just who you are. You have your goods and your negatives. You know, you state them both. But what do you see positively that you feel like is awesome, that you're coming, like, out of the new generation, you're seeing this and you're like, wow, I'm amazed. This is amazing.
One of the things that does amaze me for sure is, like, creativity and artistic ability coming out of this generation or your generation. It's pretty unreal. Like, again, I don't have social media, but I do watch a lot of YouTube, and I see all these creators, and it's a whole new type of creation, but I see all these people and they have amazing minds for creation. It's unreal. Now you got some stuff that I don't understand, or I don't get the hype on, but
right.
I'm talking people like, I like a lot of watching home restorations and stuff like that, where someone buys basically a rundown abandoned building, and then they turn it into a livable house and just completely change it over to a new modern home.
Right.
And they do it step by step, day by day, blood, sweat, and tears. That's something it blows my mind. I see it all the time. And then artistically, like, there's a guy I was watching the other day, like, he created a Hellfire missile. Like, he literally, I think he 3D printed a Hellfire missile and put it on a stand and a plaque, whatever, and then did a limited release for like 200 of them. And I think they were sold. He was selling them for like $2,000 each, but they sold out within like 5 minutes. And I was one of those suckers that logged onto their website and was like, oh my goodness, I would love to, like, buy one of those. They were all gone. So
no choice to have one.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for trinkets and stuff like that.
I definitely get that from you.
Yeah, you get that from me. But yeah, the artistic and creative ability of your generation is pretty unreal. I mean, even like something that really surprised me, I don't know if it was always around because we didn't have the social media platforms, but people's voices, like the people that can sing. I feel like there's more people that can sing nowadays. Like, I know that's weird to say, but there's so many talented singers out there, male and female. Like, sometimes I'll go down a rabbit hole of that and I just watch people singing. I don't know. It's because I can't sing probably, but yeah, I definitely wish I could some days.
I feel like there's a lot of things nowadays that people can just do. you know? Like, I feel like sports, I mean, sports have always been, you know, the pro levels are the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
But you're seeing guys, you know, my age. I mean, I'm seeing middle schoolers dunk from 12 feet away from the rim and slam it on top of some 7'5" Chinese dude that just transferred in straight out of Yukon or something. I don't know. You know, like,
no.
I'm seeing, you know, these kids nowadays, and I feel like just like, not only are we more like mentally, I feel like we're more mentally, not necessarily stronger, but I feel like it's almost like we've unlocked deeper parts of our brain, some sort of like evolution kind of thing, you know?
That's possible.
And I feel like physically we've done that as well. I feel like
physically, I agree.
I feel like that people are getting taller, they're getting stronger, they're getting faster. The boys and the girls. There's no differentiation. Everybody's either getting bigger, they're getting leaner. You know, it's maybe the hormones have changed. I don't know, but I feel like people are like evolving, and it's awesome. You know.
No, I definitely think I've seen where people are getting taller for sure. Oh. And we can go down the whole conspiracy theory of what they put in our food and stuff like that. But I think it's happening on a global level too, because I've been to a lot of countries and there's a lot of tall people. I don't know if that's common elsewhere, but there's a lot of tall people here in America for sure.
I feel like in Germany there was a good bit of tall people.
No, I agree. There's a lot of, I mean, it's just...
everywhere.
Maybe
now.
It is. I don't know. Maybe people are just getting taller.
I believe it.
Wow. But yeah, I mean, I will say I agree with you to an extent, but on the mental thing, it's 50-50.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's 50-50 because there's so many people out there mentally that are just not right. No, I don't. I think it goes back to their suffering. I mean, they suffer in a way, and then they are not willing to talk, and they attack. And then, you know, I'm not going to get into the type of people that we're talking about, but a lot of them have bull nose rings and blue hair. But we'll just keep that going.
They got funny little hats.
All right. I'm going to switch gears. All right. I'm going to go. We talked a little bit about dating last time. I'm going into something because of what you said to me last week. All right. You haven't had a girlfriend in a while. I see you talk to a girl here and there, but you're like, oh, I'm not going to say any names, but you started talking to somebody.
Right.
And you said, I said, didn't you get ghosted from her or something? And you said, yeah, but she told me she went crazy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what happened there, but that statement alone was crazy. And I told you I was going to write it down. But yeah. And going further into that, you know, ghosting. What do you think that is like what the whole, because that came out of your generation. That wasn't in my generation. I don't know who started it or where it started, but it started within the last, I'd say 5-6 years. And, you know, is it cowardly? Like, is it a coward thing to do? Is it just easy to do? Is it justified? Or, you know, is that the norm for your Gen Z culture? Because I see it a lot. Like you're talking to somebody and then it's cold turkey gone.
They're gone.
I mean, is it just the ease of social media and on to the next person? Like,
no. You know, bringing up the isolation thing, I feel like people just overall, they love the attention, but they want to be by themselves. And they see, you know, oh, I don't give this person a lot of attention, but, you know, I text them and that's instant validation. You know, they text this, that. It's all coming from my phone. You know, they love the validation of talking to somebody because, you know, they're not by themselves as much as they were before. You know, they get to talk to somebody who they think is attractive or, you know, maybe in the moment they thought was attractive. Which it's perfectly fine for feelings to change, but that immaturity of ghosting, I feel like is, and I can't say I haven't done it. I mean.
So you think it's immature?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ghosting it's immature. It's stupid because like, you can't even give somebody the not necessarily satisfaction, but the time, the respect to just be like, I don't like you anymore.
Yep.
I don't really want to talk to you anymore. Or, you know, if you don't want to talk to somebody, just tell them. You know, that's how I feel like people should be. People should be honest. They should be straight up. I mean, obviously you can be a little lenient depending on how the situation is, but like you should be as mature or, you know, strong-headed as you can possibly be for a serious situation or something that involves emotion. You know, you should be serious because emotion is very serious. You shouldn't play with people's emotions.
So you don't think people are taking relationships serious then?
People aren't taking people seriously.
Oh, that's good. No, I agree there. I agree. And that's every generation.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just, I feel like it's so bad nowadays. People don't see the humanity in another person. They don't see the personality. They don't. They'll look around into a room of people and they think they're most alone they've ever been. You know what I mean? You know, they think.
Well, they think they're the shining star too, though.
Yeah, they think I'm the only important one.
Yeah.
What does it matter what this person who I know nothing about, knows nothing about me, or even maybe they do know something about you. Maybe they're friends. Maybe they're not friends. Maybe they're enemies. Either way, you're not seeing the humanity. You put a label on them. You know, you see this talking stage, fine shit or whatever it is nowadays, you know? Mm-hmm. Like they put labels on things, and I feel like these labels are so one-dimensional. You know, they're just take it and throw it away.
Yeah.
They don't.
No, I agree.
And people aren't like that, you know? You can't treat people just as this one-dimensional.
Insta culture.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not this... People aren't one-dimensional.
Yeah.
People have feelings. And whenever you do things such as...
Excuse me. Shouldn't be drinking Sprite.
Don't matter. People, they see their emotions or they think like, oh, maybe... And then sometimes people will talk to people that are... they don't think is physically attractive. Or like maybe they think they're cool people, but they don't want to date them in all reality, but they do it anyway because they're bored, you know?
Do you think that's a result of people using people?
Absolutely.
Because instant gratification, because they know that person's going to give them that instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And
going back to playing with people's emotions, yeah, they take advantage of people because if they know that maybe the person isn't the most attractive, and this person could be really attractive, could, like, you know, commonly attractive considerably, you know what I mean? I don't know what I just said, but you know what I mean? Like, they're seen as attractive openly, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other person, maybe not necessarily they're ugly, but they're not seen as, like, as attractive as them. Mm. And it's a girl, and the guy is like, the guy doesn't get a lot of play, or, you know, he just doesn't talk to a lot of people, and he's like, oh, she's really pretty, and she's pretty cool. I'm gonna talk to her, you know? And she probably likes me too, you know? So, you know, they talk for a while, they have fun, whatever. And then one day, the girl decides, oh, I'm bored of the person that I was never really fully interested in. Block, ghost, whatever. You know? It's immature.
No. And I watch there's a YouTube channel that I watch. And he talks about, I don't know if there's not a lot of men doing it, but I know there's a lot of women doing it, but they only date like the high tier. They think they should have like a 10, a 9, an 8, maybe a 7. Like every girl's like that. Like people aren't going realistically. They're not going towards the people that are on the same level.
Right.
Like they think they should have something way better.
Right.
Like that's the 6 foot, 6 figures, whatever kind of thing that was going across. Like, and I think you hit the nail on the head with my generation. It was more about respect and responsibility.
Right.
Nowadays, people are so one-sided and they can't see outside of their own circle.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest things that kind of opened my mind is when I kind of had some selflessness and went outside of myself and realized, it's a perfect example, road rage, right? Someone cuts you off. All you want to do is flip them off or yell, cuss, whatever. And it was probably about 10 years ago that I started thinking about it. Maybe they didn't realize they cut me off, or maybe they're having a bad day. or maybe something is bad in their life. Maybe someone is in the hospital and they're distracted, or maybe they can't pay the next mortgage or something. It's when you can put yourself outside of your own perspective and ask yourself, maybe what are they going through? What in their life are they going through right now that I think a lot of people nowadays just don't do anymore? Especially, I know young people don't do it because it's a skill that takes time. You got to have perspective. You got to have perspective in your own environment, and you have to go outside of yourself. You know, like when I started actually putting myself in other people's shoes and thinking about the people that I interact with outside of myself, that's kind of when I really started to mellow out and just kind of chill a little bit. And, you know, I didn't have the anger. I didn't have the selfishness as much as I used or did. And that's a big thing with like the narcissistic society is they can't see outside of themselves and they think everything should be for them. And, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So kind of going a little further into perspective of dating, what do you think on the equality, splitting bills, you know, the modern dating experience? Where do you stand on that kind of stuff?
Equality-wise, I stand on that we are both two different people. We have our own different emotions, and that as a relationship, if we want to make it work, we have to understand that fact. We have to understand that we are both two different people.
Yeah.
We have our own interests, but we like each other and we want to spend our time around each other, you know? And that requires equality and sort of a bridge, emotions-wise, you know? You have to, one side has to come down with all of its own gears, with all of its own chains, all that. It's got its own stuff on this side. And then this side works completely differently, just like this one does. Has its own chains and that. But they both come down together and they make a bridge, you know?
That's good.
You need to do that in a relationship. You need to be able to make that bridge, you know? If the other side doesn't want to cooperate and you're all the way down here, how are you going to get across the river? How are you going to make that bridge? You know, so if one side of the bridge isn't working, then you have to either, you know, build a new bridge or whatever. But in a relationship, it needs to be very equal, at least across understanding emotions-wise.
What about compromise?
Compromise is something, I mean, it goes deeper than relationships with compromise. I mean, it is the most important thing just when working with people. You're going to have to compromise things. You're going to have to be selfless. You have to sacrifice things. You know, going back to that sacrifice. If you want things to happen, you have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And just like anything else, in a good relationship, you know, it's like 6-month anniversary or something in a situation like mine. I really, really want to take her to this because I think it's really special. But she wants me to do this because she thinks it's really special. Now, I could just take her to the thing that I wanted to do, make myself happy, which, I mean, it makes me happy that I would want to do that option, yes, but I'm not ultimately happy because a lot of my joy, especially in like a relationship, I get happy whenever the other partner's happy.
Yeah.
As long as happy wife, happy life, you know? I mean, it's a good motto. But, you know, so you have to make that compromise of, yeah, I'm going to take her to the thing she wants to do because, I mean, it's not the end of the world if I have to do it. I'm going to like it. I know I'm going to. I say I won't, but I know I will. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. You just need to make the best out of the experience. I mean, I get exactly what you mean.
Right.
Compromise, you know, I think men do more compromising. I say that, but I don't know the statistics behind that. No facts. Who knows? But
I'm not checking.
Yeah, I feel like in some scenarios, if you're in a good relationship, compromise will happen just switch between the two.
Right.
So maybe the guy's compromising here, over here, the woman's got to compromise. The women will compromise, and that's a good relationship.
Right.
It's when either or are willing to compromise. And I definitely see a lot of toxic relationships on the internet lately, and just people are not willing to go outside of the compromise. They won't compromise.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's just that comes from selfishness. That comes from
100%.
Personal,
narcissistic.
Absolutely. It's just that going to that point of I don't see anybody else. I just see myself.
They don't,
and that's all that's important. Yeah. So,
people have to look outside themselves.
Absolutely.
If you want to grow and actually understand people and get outside of your dream world, you got to see from other people's perspectives. You got to step out of your shoes.
Right.
You've got to.
I feel like one thing also comes with stepping outside of yourself. I mean, if you really want to, I'd say if you really want to love yourself, step outside, see how everybody else is, and realize why you are you. Realize why you are so much of what you are that you're different from this person. You have to learn to understand everybody as a person.
Yeah.
And not only with that comes with a love of other people, comes with self-love of yourself, So it feels like, compromise and just understanding people is one very big trait that I feel like a lot of people miss nowadays. We need to build that. We need to, as a people, build that more for sure.
Yeah. I've always found it pretty easy to love other people, but harder to love myself. Yeah.
I can agree.
Yeah. I think it's easier to love other people. For me, it's easier to treat people I don't even know really well. Like it's just, I respect other people, even if I don't know them.
Right.
Even harder to love myself, though. I don't know what kind of trauma that stems from.
I think
we're not going to dive into that dumpster fire.
I don't know. I mean, I think baseline, I've thought about it a lot too. I've had similar thoughts to that. It's hard for me to love myself, but I'm so awesome to everybody else,
Yeah.
But
that goes to my negativity. It's like, okay, yeah, that's great.
Right.
But what am I doing wrong?
What importance, I love how important my friend is, but like what makes me, me? Why am I so cool? Why should I show this love to myself, And it's a hard process.
Yeah.
I really have looked into it, and it really just comes down to like I said, you understand why everybody else is so great. See, almost look at yourself as if you didn't know your own self. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like see that third person perspective of, like to myself, I work hard. I'm positive energy. I love putting out positive energy, stuff like that, just like name off stuff that you see in yourself that could, it could maybe reflect off of, you could like, oh, how they acted towards that. You're like, oh, they like that about me. So maybe, but don't look for that validation from the other people. Look for that for yourself.
No, I agree. You got to find validation in yourself. And that's, goes back to the motto of the podcast, or the podcast title, be skeptical. Don't believe everything you hear and see right away. Like really evaluate it. And that includes yourself.
Absolutely.
That includes yourself, because people use that against you. They'll try to do that to work you over.
Man.
They'll tell you something great, and then they'll use and abuse you. But
right. I mean, I can, going back to like yourself, whatever you said, I don't know why I kind of just forgot what you said.
Yeah. Just evaluate when people say things. Be skeptical with it.
Be skeptical of yourself. Like I could come up with a lie right now, and I would back it down.
Oh, I know you will.
No facts.
You do it all the time.
I would come up with a lie, and I would back it down 100%. You know what I mean? But yeah, be skeptical. I mean,
what's a lie if you believe it is truth, right?
Right.
Is
it really a lie?
Yeah.
I mean,
you got another question?
Yeah,
I've got quite a few.
I had one more.
All right.
With mental health, as far as you see, what is the most important thing in your opinion? I know you said you have hard times with this, that, and that, but as you work very hard, so I know you have some sort of process. What is your number one process in this area?
I mean, I try not to take everything too serious. That's one thing for sure. So nobody can really get me super upset. Like there's not a lot of people out there that can actually just get me upset, except for your mom and you. They're the only two people that can say a word and I go blow my top. But, and it may be because of my mental fortitude. I'm not sure, but I don't let people get me upset. And I try to listen and observe. I try to observe, but I believe in the pillars, right? So you got physical pillar, you got mental pillar, spiritual pillar. There's another one. I can't remember it because there's 4 pillars.
I think it's citizenship.
No, that's not it.
That's the 6th pillar as a character there.
Oh, but I try to work out. Like if I'm having a terrible, terrible day, doesn't matter if I don't want to work out or not. I will hit the gym because I will come out of there. My mind will be clear. It just is what it is. Spiritual. It's not that I'm saying you have to have religion. I think you need to be spiritual. You got to have a relationship with, mine is God and Jesus Christ. Like you have to have that relationship and you got to have that mental fortitude and the alone time with whatever you're going to do. I think it's super important. And I would say that was probably more important than physical. And then mentally, you just got to be able to decompress, but you also need to be observant and alert at all times. So it's a balance. You can't overexert yourself because there's a term that in my work, it's called a death spiral. That means you can't maintain your current projection forever. Eventually, you're going to death spiral and you're going to crash. So you got to understand you can't be overworking yourself every single day over and over and over and over and over without, knowing inevitably you're going to crash. Mm. So you got to find the balance. I'm a heavy believer in not bringing work home. And not until recently have I been really, really good at it. My current job, sometimes I bring it home, but most of the time I step foot out of the door at work. And as long as I don't get calls outside of that, I don't think about it again. I'm thinking about you guys. I'm decompressing. Whatever it is, family time. Mm. So yeah, that's some of the things that I do to keep my mental health up. But everyone has your ups and downs. Like I am no stranger of depression. I am no stranger of having bad thoughts. Like we all have them. You just need to make sure when you have them, going back to isolation, you need to reach out to people. Like reach out. I'm a high proponent on finding good therapy. I've done multiple, but I say good therapy, you need to find a good person that's going to give you good advice. And I'm not saying you have to go to a professional. You can reach out to your family members, your friends, whoever. Talk to them. Somebody that you can be accountable to, but also they're going to give you good, solid advice and be projecting you in the right direction. They're not going to take advantage of you. They're not going to take advantage of your state of mind to use it against you later on. So, right. That's my experience. And I was, for the longest time, I never opened up, ever. Mm-hmm. People would have to pry and pry and pry just to get me to talk. Mm-hmm. Just because I didn't. I will bottle up and push it down, sweep it under the rug, and move right along. Mm-hmm. But I went to a guy one time, and he told me something. He said, "You got all of these wounds, or you've got all of these knives stuck in you, right? Mm-hmm. And they're still there. You've never pulled them out, and you're still bleeding consistently because you got all these wounds and you got all these knives sticking in you. But until you pull those knives out and you deal with it, that's when you can actually start getting healing." So that was really impactful to me. But yeah, mental health is huge.
Absolutely.
And I think it's mental health, specifically in men nowadays, I think it is drastically falling downhill for sure. And I'm not going to get into the whole men want to be girls talk and all that stuff. But I think it goes back to a lot of mental issues that people just haven't dealt with. Men aren't being men. Men haven't suffered through things to be men.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
What? About
mental health, yeah.
So I'd say number one, the most important thing in mental health is you have to find a way to know that you are worth the time to care, to be cared for, or to just personally be. You are lovable. You are capable of being someone that is enjoyed. You know what I mean? You have to see the worth in yourself. You have to see your own self, whether it be maybe you're an athlete, but you're not very talkative, but you're an athlete, you have skills, you work hard, there's things that come with that. You have to be able to look at yourself.
Qualities.
Right. You have to look at yourself and say, I love you. You have to be able to say, I love myself.
That's hard to do.
And it really is.
I would suggest if people want to start doing that, it's like brushing your teeth. Wake up, do it every day, try it for 30 days and see if it makes change.
Right. I mean, it's hard. That's one of the better processes. I use that every day. I tell myself I love myself at least once a day. I don't say it out of narcissism. I don't say it out of I want to be the best. I just say it because I know my own worth. I know that I'm a cool person. People like me. I like me. And I'm acceptive of that. And I'm not saying it, and I'm not doing that because I want to be narcissistic or anything. I want it because I want the best for myself. You should want the best for yourself. That's another thing in mental health. People don't want the best for themselves. They just want what they can get.
They're destructive. A lot of people are destructive.
And I know I just talked about, I'm happy with the bare minimum. But if you deserve more than that and you aren't specifically looking for it, then what are you doing? You know what I mean? Not necessarily you should expect that, but there's ways we should be treated as people. There's ways that things should be done. If you know things aren't being done right and you're not being treated right, speak up about it the best you can,
Yeah.
Make the moves the best you can.
You should have a voice.
Right. Use your voice. Because that's the only thing that discerns everybody else,
Yeah.
DNA, it's all different, but the only thing that truly makes us different as people is our voice. And if you don't have the ability to speak, how different are you, So don't be afraid to speak out. Don't be afraid to be yourself.
No, I agree. Everyone has to have their voice. And it's finding your balance. It's not being too loud. It's not being too soft, but you want to get your point across.
Absolutely.
And a lot of that takes, and I'm more of a listener than a speaker a lot of the time. I would rather sit back and listen and really hear somebody before I actually speak. But as far as if someone's taking advantage of you or you're not being treated appropriately, 100% you should have a voice. Absolutely. And you need to stand up for yourself,
right?
No matter what. I 100% support that. But sometimes it's hard to identify that too. Because if you're in a scenario where it's routine and it's how it's always been.
Going back to what you were shaped around. If you're shaped around, you were abused and you were, physically and mentally growing up. Mm-hmm. You don't think much of yourself. You're not going to because you weren't shown that you were
worth.
Right. You weren't worth anything which isn't true. It's just people are evil,
Oh yeah.
And another thing about you can't let other people get into your mental. That's your spot. That's your health. Don't let other people affect it. You know what I mean?
And nobody's a judge, right? The only person, again, going back to change, the only person can truly change is yourself.
Absolutely.
Nobody else is going to change you. It's all about yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's good or bad. It's good or bad. You're the only person that's going to change yourself. Mm-hmm. So, let's see. Moving on. I'm going to go lighten up the topic a little bit. Yeah. We're talking about some heavy stuff. Ooh. All right. So I was thinking about it the other day. What happened to all the good movies and shows? Do you think these producers and executive producers and directors and all this, do you think they just aren't taking a risk anymore because the cancel culture? Because I feel like they just like, do you think they don't want to write something offensive, or maybe they're being lazy? Like, I saw a good thing and I had to look it up because I wasn't 100% sure what it was, but it was short form versus long form entertainment. And it made me think too, maybe that's why you don't really see a lot of good movies anymore. Because I'm a movie guy. I love movies.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Like, we talked about Blockbuster a little bit last time, but
right.
we used to go every Friday night and rent movies and throw them in and watch 3 or 4 movies in a row.
Right.
But the short form and long form entertainment, short form is like your TikTok reels.
Right.
Your shorts on YouTube, all that stuff, that instant scrolling. Your long form is going to be a longer series, movie, or whatever.
YouTube video, TV show.
So do you think it's because they don't want to be offensive, or this cancel culture? I mean, you don't even know about advertisements really, or commercials. Like, you've never sat and watched real TV.
Yes, I have.
Well, I mean, you probably have, but not like me. I mean, you would turn on a show back when I was little, and yeah, it's a 21-minute show, but then you had 8 or 9 minutes of commercials.
Right, true.
So that's a 30-minute clip or a 30-minute block of a show. So, true. I mean, what do you think?
So there's multiple factors that goes into it. Obviously, the media has been stronger upon certain things that you're not allowed to make the same jokes as often as you used to be able to. You can still make them, I mean, you still got Family Guy, you still got South Park nowadays.
Yeah, but those are old.
Right.
I mean, I guess they're still making new ones,
new stuff. Yeah, it's hard to, in a new piece of media, make an offensive joke. And yeah, I agree.
It's funny too, because I saw it the other day, is like these AI generated videos. They are hilariously offensive.
Oh, no, yeah.
And nobody is saying anything about it. But as soon as it's like a real person, it's like, oh, well, you're a racist, you're a Nazi,
right.
You're a whatever, you're a blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like Office. The Office is one of my favorite TV shows.
That's hilarious. Love The Office.
It's so funny. If that show would come out nowadays, it would never last. It would get canceled so fast.
You think so?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I think it definitely had some moments.
I will say, like, it's starting to come around where comedians can be comedians. Oh, like, I've seen some good stuff lately, and maybe it's the underground stuff or whatever, but people can still tell jokes and not be offensive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, I don't know. I was literally talking to your mom, and I was like, where's all the good movies? I used to love going to the movie theater and seeing the latest and greatest movie.
Right.
But nowadays, there's just not any good movies anymore. I don't know. I'll go and look on the Apple TV, and I'm like, oh, what's the new movies coming out?
Right.
Nothing that interests me.
Really?
Zero.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and not only, like I said, there's multiple factors that goes into this. Number one, some of the greatest movies we think we've ever seen have already been written. I mean, there's been a lot of great content throughout history that has already been written. It's hard to create more greatness whenever such great things have happened. And people haven't had that ability to make that yet. But not only that.
Well, do you think it's because they're lazy and they don't want to be offensive? Or what do you think it is?
So the offensiveness part, that is going to come with just media,
Oh, yeah. You're always going to offend
media.
You're going to offend someone
right.
always.
But. And just because things have become more sensitive nowadays, I feel like people are definitely a little bit more sensitive nowadays, So you can't make as many jokes because people just are liable to tweak about it,
Yeah. Crash out for sure. Yeah.
Crash out. Yeah. I mean, it's just, people are more, oh, I don't want my kids hearing, I don't know, like Jew jokes or something, like you can't say stuff like that. But it also goes down to.
Oh, I apologize.
It also goes down to, it really goes down to just people's attention spans are so cooked nowadays. It's horrible.
People can't watch movies.
Right.
Maybe that's what it is.
I feel like that's one of the bigger factors too. I mean, like, I personally watched Oppenheimer all the way through. Loved the movie. I remember every part of it.
I liked it, but it was hard to hold my attention to.
It's a long movie.
Yeah.
But like...
It's a good movie, though.
Interstellar.
I love that movie.
How long is it?
I don't know. But
it's almost 3 hours long.
I love it. That's one of my favorite
Oppenheimer
movies.
is longer, but like I feel like Oppenheimer is a comparable movie to Interstellar. Cinematically wise. I'm not saying like in theory, but like cinematically wise, how beautiful production wise made. Yeah, I think so. But like story wise, I think Interstellar takes it by a mile. But production wise, the whole movie was filmed on, I think it's like 180 millimeter film, the really, really refined stuff.
Yeah.
The whole movie was filmed on film, I'm pretty sure, with Oppenheimer,
Well, that's funny because you say that, because the film that we've been using for years and years and years was actually at a higher and better quality. We just didn't have the technology to actually show it to the public.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, and going into that, I mean, like I said, I mean, look at the amount of work that was put into Interstellar. I mean,
they had some of the most scientifically accurate CGI that's ever been put.
Not only, and you know why? It's because they had NASA scientists.
Yeah,
came straight out of the lab, straight out of colleges to research, put in the work for it, and make the most accurate movie.
They said that's probably the best representation of a black hole ever made. Yeah,
right. And I feel like it's not necessarily lazy writing. There could be a great story, but people do not want to put in the work to make it great. Like, they'll make a great story,
but they're still spending $50-100 million for these films. That's like,
I don't know, man. I don't think they use all the money they say they do. Maybe it's going into
maybe they're paying their actors too much. I don't know.
Right. I mean, like, I don't think that nowadays. I don't think the Disney and Pixar movies are $1 million films. They do not make millions of dollars.
I mean, I used to love Pixar, and they haven't put out a good one.
I saw an AI video of it was like a 5-minute video of Toy Story, just AI, And I mean, it wasn't great, obviously, but it was already just as good as any other animated film. This, and that. If AI can do that in 10 minutes, what is taking us so long? I mean, obviously it's AI. It's the closest to the most efficient thing we can ever see. But as people, we have created such beautiful things. Why don't we do it as much as we used to? You know what I mean? And I feel like people are just, they don't want to put the work in for it anymore. And like I said, going back to the movies, they make a great story. I mean, beautiful. I mean, but they don't put in the work for it. Like the movie we just watched, Warfare, I thought the movie was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
And I feel like the reason why is because it's
it's based on actual facts.
Right. It's not only based on actual facts, but they put in lots of work in the cinematics of the movie. I feel like.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You mean the acting or the actual?
Both.
I don't know. I think it was a good movie. I agree. But I think
you got to go down.
Productively wise, I think it was kind of a cheap production. That's why I asked you. I was like, I think, is this a series or is this a movie? And you're like, no, it's a movie. I'm like, oh, because it looked like a cheaper reenactment, but it was still good.
Right.
Like it had good actors, and
right.
I think it portrayed, potential true war scenarios better than most things I've seen in a while.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
They really put work into making it seem like you were in the action. A lot of people in the theaters, I remember watching reviews.
No, I mean, I questioned some of it. I did question some of it.
I mean, we both did. I mean,
because I think Navy SEALs would react a little quicker than they did. Yeah, but I don't know.
I don't think they're going to be like.
But that was back when,
It was 2006. So.
It was 2006, but that's when they were trying, I think Navy SEALs actually revamped everything around that time frame and actually created more elite soldiers after the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because that's when you get your Jocko Willing, your Lone Survivor.
What was his name?
All them. And they actually went back to the schoolhouse and actually taught real tactics and procedures.
But yeah, the movie, it really stuck in on its angles, and its sound production, and maybe not like physically production. It was great, but they put a lot of work into the sound and the photography and the way the actors would move and the way they were trained. They would train with actual Navy SEALs.
Yeah, yeah.
They trained with actual Navy SEAls. What they would really go through.
They trained with the actual Navy SEAls in the scenario too.
They did, yes. Yeah. They also trained with radio. The people who would use radios.
That was actually really realistic.
That kind of effort. You don't see a lot of it anymore, and I feel like it's movies like that. Like the movie itself, like you said, it looked kind of like a cheap movie, but it was still good. There was still a lot of like, it had its moments of like, it paid more close attention to detail. I feel like a lot of movies nowadays, they just miss that edge. They miss the edge of, we're paying more closer attention to detail, you know, where it's a movie, you know, we're putting work into this art. You know, you want to make it art because movies should be seen as art. Nowadays, they're just...
Yeah, I think...
You need to...
Honestly, my generation, we had some of the best movies ever created.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I could throw out just a few, like...
Jurassic Park, Titanic, Back to the Future.
Well, that was kind of when I was born, but it was still out there. Then you had like all the Lord of the Rings.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I wrote that. Was that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But we had some of the best movies.
Absolutely.
And I could go back and there's some movies I can go back and if I catch it halfway through, I will watch it. Oh, yeah. Independence Day. Oh man.
That
was the very first movie I ever bought on VHS.
Really?
Yeah. Independence Day.
It's a good movie.
I know that movie word for word.
I can support that. You definitely know. I feel like I'm like that. I'm like that with like Jurassic Park. I've probably watched all the Jurassic Park movies separately like 8 times. Not even joking.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the first few are really, really good. And some of the newer ones are they're pretty good. But this whole genetic modification stuff, I'm like totally against
That's what it's always been about, though.
I know, but like the newest one, it looked like a alien baby or something.
D-Rex, yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
because they're modifying human DNA with actual dinosaur DNA, supposedly.
Well, you've read the books, right?
I've read the first 2.
Yeah, the dinosaurs in there, I don't know if you remember, but they were very alien-like compared to how normal dinosaurs were because they were these genetic modifications of real dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So, that's what it's always been about. I feel like, but they have exaggerated it a bit in the past couple movies, but I feel like it's given it an edge. Maybe it's not like it's a different take on dinosaurs. I mean, you've never really seen it before.
I love dinosaurs.
Right.
Dinosaurs are my thing back when I was a kid. So
still are, man. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah, me too. Well, we're sitting over an hour now. Do you have any last question, remarks, or anything before we close it up?
No. I got through everything.
Cool. Well, yeah. I mean, I hope movies don't die. I mean, that's something that I just really love. But I guess we've talked about suffering, dating, movies, talked about a lot of stuff, mental health. It's kind of all over the place, but like we said, it's kind of a dumpster fire. We're just going to go wherever it takes us. This is be skeptical. We're not going to agree on everything, maybe nothing sometimes, but it's all about getting our perspective out there and seeing, and maybe we change each other's minds. Maybe you can change mine. Maybe I can change yours. Who knows?
Maybe I can change yours.
Yeah. Change your guys's, but never know. This is Be Skeptical. This is episode 2. We're wrapping it up, guys. And I can officially say, be kind, rewind, watch the last episode, continue. We're going to try to put these out weekly. This was a little bit larger gap, but we're going to continue putting these out. And, maybe you guys have some questions or you guys have a dumpster fire that you want to actually discuss. Throw it in the comments. We'll tackle it. We'll let you know our opinion on it. So
bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely had a great time. Look forward to future episodes. This is Be Skeptical. All opinions, no facts. See you guys.